Hello, uh, Metallica fans. This is going to be another review of a Metallica album. This one is going to be Ride the Lightning from 1984. This one I've been listening to this past week a lot. Like, first time really listening to the whole track. The whole CD. And I gotta be honest, this is a really good album. I don't know for sure where I'd rank this, but I think I'd rank it probably right above or right below Master Puppets. I'm not really sure where to rank this. I might rank this below Death Magnetic. Only maybe by hair though. I gotta be honest, I like this one a lot. Starts off with fight fire with fire, fight fire with fire. Um, the the beginning of it starts off kind of acoustic, which I'm not crazy about, but when my dad was alive, he used to play acoustic guitar years ago, and the beginning of Fight Fire with Fire, seriously, like where it's acoustic, seriously reminds me of like a song that my dad used to play. I swear it's like he was playing the beginning of this song, and he was able to do it like at any time. Like he played, he was he was a musician, and he wasn't like a professional or anything, but like he used to play like acoustic guitar and harmonica a lot, and like in his past, I think before I was born, he used to play like flute, I think as well. And he really liked rock and roll and stuff. I'm gonna assume he probably liked that song then. He was into different rock and roll, like he was into like he liked some Black Sabbath, he liked some AC/DC. I think he liked that song TNT. I love that song as well. He liked um I think he wasn't like crazy about Metallica, but I think there was probably a few songs here and there he liked. I remember sometimes like my dad would like get home from work and like he would be just like sitting out in his car. I'm in his truck. He had like a 1987 Dodge Dakota pickup. You know, it was like charcoal gray, and he sometimes like he'd get home and he just like might have been some good tune on. I'm not sure. It could have been anything. And he'd just like sit there and just like listen to it and might be like, hey, come here, listen, or something. I don't remember for sure if he said that or not. It was a long time ago. He died about 12 years ago. May he rest in peace. I'll see him again someday in heaven. My belief, personal belief. If you believe differently, that's fine. Personally, I have a belief that he was born again Christian. He went to heaven when he passed away. Um, yeah. Anyway, back to this album review. Ride the Lightning. That is a heavy tune. It has to do with a guy getting like the death penalty, death by electric chair. I love the way it sounds and stuff. It's a great tune. It's just hardcore all the way through, and it's just like, wow. It's like really, this came out in 1984. It's like, wow. It's a great tune. Love how it's going. Is like, of how his voice sounds and stuff. I've heard the live version of this as well on the Hardwired Self Destruct album. And I gotta be honest, I like both versions. They're both great. And the Hardwired Self Destruct album, when he plays it, it's from like 2016 when he was playing it. It's from around 2015 or 2016, and he sounds almost the same as on this album here. I like both versions. I might like that one a little more, maybe because it's slightly more mellow. Because for me, personally, I think I prefer it maybe slightly more mellow. Because like, I can't hear what he's saying as much. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe it's the crowd or something cheering on and stuff and just going yeah or something like that or whatever. But that's a great tune. It's heavy though. Whom the Bell Tolls. That's a great one. I've heard that during like, the beginning of uh, this pro BMX rider named Jamie Beswick. Who's a great BMX rider, by the way. I know it's kind of off topic, but like for a long time, for like a year or something, for like a season on like the Dew Tour and possibly the X Games, but I think it was mostly on the Dew Tour, BMX Vert, he'd have that song playing like during his run. He'd always have like a heavy run, like almost every single time. 90% of the time, he'd have like a winning run on the ramp, and he still does, even now, having a winning run on the ramp. The guy's a very talented rider. He's in his 40s, but don't let that fool you. He is amazing at BMX, and like he once won like 9 straight BMX vert gold medals at X Games in a row from 2007 to 2014. Within like the reason why it took 7 years instead of 8 or 9 is because there was one year where there was 2 X Games for BMX vert. Is why. So he's able to like double up faster, and he also won 10 Dew Cups on the Dew Tour from 2005 to 2014 in a row in BMX vert. Nobody's. I don't know if. I mean that was it was just crazy. It was like wow. Yeah, so that's a great song right there. Although I usually have been skipping that one just because I've just heard it so many times. It's a great tune. I've just heard it so many times, like on TV, like watching X Games or Dew Tour or whatever, and then like on the radio, that one's played a lot. Where sometimes you don't know, like on the radio, it's like, wait, is this Hell's Bells from AC/DC or is this from the Bell Tolls with the bell? And then it's like, oh, okay, this is from Whom the Bell Tolls, and I prefer this one over AC/DC just because of the lyrics. I don't like the lyrics for Hell's Bells that much personally. Um, so I prefer For Whom the Bell Tolls. I heard somebody say something that like it has something to do with One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest or something. Like it has something to do with that. I'm a little unsure, something like that. And this Fade to Black, which is track 4, about 6 minutes 56 seconds. I don't know if you can see the time on any of these. I don't know if you can see it on there. That one, um, I'm not the craziest about. I think I'm just not too into like it's just too acoustic for me. It has some great moments though. I'll give it that. Trapped Under Ice. I love the one. It's like trapped under ice, freezing, 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 freezing. I'm trapped under ice. I don't know, like Escape. That's another one I like a lot. That one there. Off on my own way, or something like that. It's like something. I like that one. That's a great one. I just listened to this. I've been listening to this album like almost every time I've been in my car today. Um, like coming from like work and like stuff, and like going different places. And Creeping Death. That is a really heavy one, and that is based off something written in the Bible, where it has to do with the plagues of Egypt. Um, it's a heavy tune. Good one. I kind of wish it didn't start out acoustic, personally. And I kind of wish, like, in a way, sort of. But it's a great tune, though. Like with Suicide and Redemption, for example, on Death Magnetic album. It's acoustic like that, but it's a lot different. It's very cool. The sound of it kind of reminds me of like an old skate video in terms of like the sound a little bit. If you ever seen like the Bones Brigade video 3, Search for Animal Chin, the vert scene at the very end of it, where they're all skating this big ramp. For the time, it was like a big ramp. Now it would just be like sort of average size with plus a little bit bigger with some features in terms of like, well, with the exception of like the low part. Well, actually, no, it would be kind of small now because like they skate bigger ramps now. If you saw it, you might think maybe it's bigger than the X Games ramp in terms of height, but it's actually smaller. Um, in terms of the type of artwork they use in X Games today. Produced by Metallica. Oh yeah, and Creeping Death. Interesting facts about that one. Some more interesting facts about that one. I found out. I know I saw this somewhere. I think somebody on like YouTube said something that Kirk Hammett was actually in a band called Exodus before he was in Metallica. And that story with the plagues of Egypt in the Bible, which is what Creeping Death is about, is in the book of Exodus. So I don't know if it's something else. It's like, wow, okay. Another thing I just kind of realized, I was looking at the book when I was in my car, and I noticed it says, all songs copyright 1984, Creeping Death Music, ASCAP. Yeah, ASCAP. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if maybe they were thinking that when they were, I'm not really sure exactly what they were thinking when they were writing it, but maybe they were thinking, hey, we're out by Creeping Death Music. This is just a thought. No offense to Metallica or anything. They're a great band and everything. I might be wrong. It might have been something else of why they wrote it. I'm just wondering if maybe like, hey, Creeping Death Music. This guy Kirk Hammett used to be in Exodus. What if we wrote a song that had to do with that? Let's think. And maybe they just kind of thought of it and they're like, oh, Plagues of Egypt. So, because like, even like, there was gonna be like how like there was like the seas and like there was like rivers and stuff that like turn to blood, and it even says something in there in the song about it, and like it says like killing firstborn man or something, and it's like, whoa, okay. Well, that's my review for this one. This one here. Let's see inside of it here. But I'm just gonna actually, wait a minute. I'm gonna just take a look at my. I'm just gonna say a little bit about this. Here, it's kind of cool. You see like a black and white photo of the band way back in 1984. Back when they're all around like 21 and like early 20s. See Cliff Burton there, bass, James Hetfield, rhythm, guitar, vocals, or Ulrich drums, Kirk Hammett lead guitar. I like how it shows like all the lyrics for the songs and stuff, because sometimes it can be hard to tell like what they're saying sometimes, and not just like this album, but any album or song by like anybody and like music. So it's kind of cool to like have the lyrics right there, so you can be like, oh, that's what they're saying. Oh, I thought they were saying this or something, just because it can be hard to tell sometimes with all like the instruments and stuff, and sometimes just like with just sound. Well, that's my review for Ride the Lightning, Metallica album, 1984, their second ever album. Stay tuned for some more.